What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Link Light here with another Pokemon video. And on today's video, we're going to continue exploring the amazing artwork from the 2003 Aquapolis set. So let's dive into our first artwork on today's episode. We have this Vulpix, and this Vulpix artwork was illustrated by none other than Yama. But let's look at the artwork. I really love how Vulpix is in the forefront, and it must have got some berries. I'm not sure where Vulpix got these berries from. You also have green berries, a little bit of yellow berries. Then you have the trees in the background. Then you have the red flowers. So really dope artwork from Yama on this. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Vulpix artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? This Pokemon right here, back in the day, was super popular, and I can bet Togepi is probably still as popular as ever. The evolution of Togepi, Togetic I believe it's pronounced, is actually one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. But let's get back to the Togepi artwork. The artist who gave us this Togepi artwork is none other than Tanaka. So shout out to Tanaka, but let's dive into the artwork. I really love how you have Togepi walking on the street. It must be having a very lovely day because it seems very happy, so very positive vibe. We have trees in the background. You also have the blue sky. Again, we have the red and yellow flowers. So let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Togepi artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? If you ever played Pokemon Gold or Silver, you definitely saw a lot of this Pokemon in the wild. And the artist who gave us the spin art artwork is none other than Tanaka. So thank you so much, Tanaka, for giving us this artwork. But let's dive into the artwork. You have Spinarak, obviously in the forefront of the artwork. Then you have the trees with the leaves. And I wonder if Spinarak is actually going to surprise and attack somebody. I wonder what Spinarak is up to being up there in the trees. But again, let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Spinarak artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? Our next artwork is this Oddish, and this Oddish was illustrated by Umi Mento. But let's dive into the artwork. I really love, again, the positive vibe that the artist is bringing on every one of these cards so far. I don't know if Oddish is maybe singing or super happy that it's a full moon, or not a full moon, it's a crescent moon outside. You have the stars. Looks like there's a mountain in the background. What is that, Mount Everest, or what's the mountain in Pokemon? Let me know in the comments. We also have, it's on a big ass leaf. So I don't know if if Oddish is traveling on the water. And obviously you have the water, and then you have the details of the moon reflecting on the water. So super dope artwork. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? When I saw this artwork, I had to add it on today's episode. This Magnemite artwork was illustrated by Kusajima, but let's dive into the artwork. What I really love about this artwork is the art style. It's very like abstracty, and it very stands out. As soon as you see it, it pops out. Not really sure what's going on with Magnemite, but the biggest thing for me, and I really loved it, was again the art style of this. I don't know if it looks like Magnemite is next to a lever or something. It's probably in a power factory, but nonetheless, the way the artist did this art style, it made a plain, just illustration into something great. So shout out to artists. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? What's a For the Love of Pokemon episode without some Kamiya artwork? And this Hitmonchan is a perfect example of why me, in my eyes, Kamiya is the best Pokemon artist to ever live. He's probably goated. Sorry for the original creator of Sugamaru, Ken Sugamiro or whatever, but Kamiya definitely takes the cake in my eyes. But just look at this Hitmonchan. You got Hitmonchan working on its right jab. You got the details of it sweating. Then the background is in the gym. But again, Kamiya art style is super dope. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Hitmonchan artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? Next Pokemon on our list is this Execute. And this Execute was illustrated by Kazuki. So let's dive into the Execute artwork. Obviously, you have Execute in the front, and I'm always wondering why they have that super cracked Execute. Obviously, you can see the details of the egg yolk in the side of the Execute that's broken. One of the Executes is sleeping, and the other ones are angry. I believe each egg has its own personality. Not really sure what's going on, but I really do love the clouds. And again, my favorite color is yellow, so I really love the yellow sky. There's obviously mountain. I believe that's a safari. But anyways, let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? This drowsy artwork is such a mood, especially on a Sunday when you're trying to rest and recover for the week. This drowsy artwork was illustrated by Nakumaru. But let's dive into the drowsy artwork. Obviously, you have drowsy in the front and it's chilling, relaxing on a tree. But what really sold me on this artwork was the background. Obviously, you have the baby blue sky, you have the white clouds, but you also have that tower in the background. And a little closer in the forefront, you have a couple buildings, not one. Looks like a couple buildings. So drowsy is chilling, being drowsy, of course, and he's just enjoying a good view. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? This Pokemon may have been forgotten, but it was an original 151 Pokemon, and this Marowak was illustrated by none other than Hamino. But let's dive into what I loved about this artwork and had to add it on today's episode. First of all, the colors. It's like the color scheme is very dope. You have the mountain, you have the purple. You also, if you look at the top left of this card, you have another moon. I'm not sure if Marowak is dreaming, just chilling what's going on, maybe after a long day of battling and kicking some Pokemon tail. And then also, obviously, you have the tree in the background. But let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? Another super popular Pokemon, and that is Marrow. This Marrow was illustrated by none other than Baba. But let's dive into the artwork. Obviously, you have Marrow chilling, looking super happy, honestly happier than ever. If you're ever feeling down, just look at this artwork. It might make you feel better. One thing I wonder about this artwork is why was there a random leaf next to Marrow? Not really sure, but it's the small details, right? And obviously you have Marrow with standing on top of those things that are on top of, farmers markets. I forgot what those things are, you call them, above those. And then obviously the brick wall in the background. But again, it's a super dope artwork. So let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Marrow artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? Here's a question for the Pokemon community. Is Growlithe and Tony the Tiger cousins? Please let me know in the comments. This Growlithe artwork was illustrated by Umi Mento. But let's dive into the artwork. First off, I'm really curious to what's going on in the background. You have a whole bunch of different colors going on the water. I don't know if it's a water fountain, you got green and purples. So let me know in the comments what's really going on in the background. But I really love as well the details that they have with the Growlithe. Obviously you have the Pokemon in the forefront, but you have the stairs and the style of that is pretty cool. And you have the patterns on the gate, super small details that I've noticed on this artwork. But let me know in the comments, what would you rate this Growlithe artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? This Gloom might be my favorite Pokemon artwork on today's episode. This Gloom artwork was illustrated by Umi Mento. So thank you so much for giving me, honestly, my favorite Pokemon card on today's episode. But let's dive into the artwork. Obviously we have Gloom being gloomy as ever. It's probably taking a nap, got, drool coming out his mouth. But then you have the details. The tree is in the background, but the tree has a whole bunch of different colors, reds, and the different color shades of, brown. You have the green leaves in the background, or in the forefront. Then you have a river in the background. You have the baby blue sky. You have the white clouds, and you have the mountain all the way in the background. So let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? Here we have Flaffy channeling its inner Michael Jackson. And for those who don't know who Michael Jackson is, please stop this video and type in Michael Jackson Thriller, one of the greatest songs and videos of all time. But let's dive into this Flaffy artwork, who was illustrated by none other than Yoshida. So shout out Yoshida. But let's look at the artwork. You have obviously Flaffy getting its Michael Jackson on. Then we have the forefront of the background with the tree. But really why I love this artwork is because you have Flaffy busting a move. So let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork of Flaffy doing the moonwalk on a scale of 1 through 10? This Hitmontop artwork is very similar to the Hitmonchan artwork we discussed earlier. So obviously it's the same artist, which is Pokmeon, but let's dive into the Hitmontop artwork. And speaking of Hitmontop, try to say that 3 times really fast as you're watching this. You probably couldn't because it definitely took me a while to say Hitmontop without stuttering. But anyways, let's dive into the artwork. Obviously you have Hitmontop doing spinning kicks on his head. Who do you think would win in a kicking fight? Hitmontop or Hitmonlee? I got my money on Hitmonlee because I believe Hitmontop was the baby Pokemon of those two. So let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? I really love how the artist gave this Larvitar in its element, and the artist who gave us this illustration is none other than Chimera. But let's dive into the artwork. What do I like about the artwork? Obviously, we have the Pokemon in its element, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this Pokemon, but this Pokemon needs to eat a lot of rocks or mountainsides to eventually evolve to its second form, and then it's actually, what is that, stage 3 type. And I forgot the name of that Pokemon, Tyranitar, I believe is the name of its final evolution. Let me know in the comments, I'm drawing a blank right now. But let's dive into the artwork. Obviously, the Pokemon is eating the mountainside. Then you have, it looks like it's maybe in woods or something as well, because you see some trees in the background and there's stones everywhere. But again, I really love how this Pokemon is in its element. Let me know in the comments, what would you rate this artwork on a scale of 1 through 10? I believe this Paris artwork is very underrated, and this Paris artwork was illustrated by Tanaka. But let's dive into the artwork. One of the reasons why I really wanted to add this Paris artwork on today's episode is because of the art style. It really gives me, like painter vibes, if it's as if the artist painted this artwork for us. But let's dive into the artwork. Obviously, you have the paint style artwork, but you have the trees. Trees are looking a little funky, so I really like how the artist made the trees. And besides the trees, like I said, I really just love how the art style of how the artist made this Pokemon. And I mean, Paris itself looks a little funky as well. But, well, there you have it. Another episode of For the Love of Pokemon comes to an end. Let me know in the comments what set you would like me to cover art-wise on the next episode of For the Love of Pokemon. And again, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe.